What if I told you that getting healthy in 2025 could be as easy as 60 seconds? That's right. I've got 21 easy habits that you can start in 2025 that will help you feel better in under 1 minute each. Howdy, my name is Jenny. Thanks for joining me. If you're new here, I am a habit coach for midlife women just like you. I think we women tend to make getting healthy a lot more complicated than it needs to be. That's why I'm sharing some quick, easy habits to help you take better care of yourself and feel your best. As we're going through this list, I want you to pick maybe one or two to get started on and start practicing them on a daily basis. This is not the old diet mentality where you want to completely overhaul your lifestyle. One or two at a time until they get easier, then you can add on. Now, this first one I didn't even know about till I started researching more about blood sugar control and how it relates to insulin resistance and that midlife belly fat. And that is a simple change, not to what you eat, but in the order you eat it. If you can eat protein or fiber, think your vegetables, first and leave the carbs till the end of the meal, your blood sugar is going to stay more stabilized. That protein and fiber are going to help keep you full longer so that you're not going to want to snack between meals. And with the blood sugar staying stable, your energy levels will also stay stable. So that is just an easy fix. Just think either eat protein or your vegetables first and then move to carbs towards the end of your meal. And that's going to make a difference without a lot of effort. This next habit is very easy. It's just as simple as asking yourself one question as you're eating your meal. Am I still hungry? Now, regardless if you say, no, I'm not still hungry, you can still decide to keep eating. But the more you ask yourself that question, it's going to help you to stop before you're stuffed. I highly believe in the phrase, never starving, never stuffed. You want to find that sweet spot. And a lot of times we've been programmed to be part of the clean your plate club, so we stop when the plate is clean. Instead, I want you to take some pauses. Put your fork down. Take a breath and ask yourself, am I still hungry? Just asking that simple question and making it a habit can make a big difference in your portion control. Now, if you want the easy way to make these habits stick, comment habits below and I'm going to send you my free easy habit guide. Now, this next habit was part of my routine growing up, and then sometimes you get a little sloppy as an adult, but either pray before a meal or take 5 deep breaths before a meal, some way to be present at the meal where you're really honing in on enjoying the meal, using all of your senses, being able to be present enough to ask yourself that question, am I still hungry? Those 5 deep breaths or a prayer or some way to remind yourself to be more mindful during that meal is going to be a big help. Now, this next habit might seem a little silly. I am guilty of not doing it enough. My husband is great at this. He is a very slow eater, but the way he does that is he chews more. I want you to be conscious of how much you're chewing your food. I know this kind of sounds gross, but you really want to chew your food till it's almost liquid, not just chew a few bites, taste it a little bit, and swallow. You're helping your digestive system, you're slowing down, you're being more mindful with your meal, and you're going to find out that you're giving your body time to catch up and be satisfied with less food. Now, habit number 5 has been a game changer for me and a lot of my clients because you do habits because they are rewarding. And sometimes, unless you're paying attention to the reward, you think that that sugary rush from sweets is the reward. I want you to take it a step further. Get curious about how foods really make you feel. After a meal, I want you to really get curious. How do I really feel after eating that sugary dessert? Or how do I really feel after eating those French fries? Or how do I really feel after eating that donut? When you get curious, and you don't have to change any behavior at first, just recognize how that meal made you feel. And the more you start to notice that sugary rush really wasn't worth it, or that fried food didn't really make me feel good later, you start to unwind that habit and realize really that initial taste bud explosion wasn't worth how I felt later. Now, habit number 6 might take some deprogramming as well, but I want you to drink water before coffee. Drink water first thing when you get up. Now, I've shared in other videos the way I do this is I have a cup of water beside my bed. So as soon as I wake up, I grab it and start drinking wherever I'm going. Water before coffee helps rehydrate you because you haven't been drinking all night long. It's going to help give you a little boost of energy, and it's going to help you, if you are a coffee drinker or a tea drinker, to really be able to slow down and enjoy that cup of caffeine without using it to also try to hydrate you. So water before coffee is going to give you the energy boost that you didn't realize you were missing. Habit number 7, we've kind of covered a little in how we eat, the order of our meal, eating protein or fiber first. But this one is to make sure you include protein at every meal. I know the big craze is to get all the protein you can. I'm not wanting you to have to count it yet. Just make sure that you have protein with every meal. Breakfast is the most important, to have that protein-centered breakfast. That's going to keep you satisfied between meals, and it's going to be good for developing those muscles that are the key to aging stronger and healthier. Now, number 8 is especially good for us midlife women who might be having some of the emotional roller coaster of those hormone changes. The best cure for being grumpy and grouchy, I have found, is to pause for gratitude. When you're feeling grumpy or tired or anxious, I suggest you pause and list 3 things that you're grateful for. And this is not big things like your family, your house, whatever. I'm thinking 3 small things. I love the temperature of the morning walk this morning, or my cup of coffee just really tasted good this morning, or I actually got good sleep last night. Some little dialed in gratitude is going to really help you adjust your attitude. When I was a church youth director, I really taught this to the teenagers because they definitely had some grumpy seasons. And when they intentionally had this gratitude as part of their day, they started to find more things to be grateful for. So if you know that this is going to be a habit each day to write down or think of 3 things you're grateful for, the more you're going to be looking out for those good things. Number 9, I'm a big proponent of meal planning, but this is even easier than making a meal plan for the week. I want you to decide in advance what you're going to eat today. Maybe it's first thing in the morning, or maybe it's the night before. You decide what your breakfast, lunch, and dinner is. Decide if you're going to have sugar or not. And when you've made that plan, you stick to it. And if something comes up, oh, they brought donuts to work, it's not on my decide in advance plan, but maybe I'll have it tomorrow, and you can put it on your plan for the next day. It's not being restrictive, but it's making that decision one day in advance what you're going to eat. And when you start keeping your promise to yourself and deciding in advance, you can look ahead and plan more carefully when you're going to enjoy treats, when you're going to enjoy a meal out. Deciding in advance puts you in control and making those decisions without temptation. Number 10, add fiber to your breakfast. I know vegetables at breakfast doesn't sound really appetizing. I like to do a frittata with eggs, and I put in leafy greens, maybe red bell peppers, maybe some onions. Sneak in some vegetables with those eggs. Or maybe you're having Greek yogurt. Put in chia seeds, hemp seeds, or flaxseed. Get in that fiber count because that's going to be very good for your gut health, and it's going to be good for maintaining that fullness till the next meal. But add fiber to your breakfast and you're going to be satisfied till lunch. Number 11, feels so good, but we forget to do it. And that is to take breaks, stand up and stretch. You know, that technique we get from looking down at our phone, looking down at the computer, we've got to counteract that. We've got to roll our shoulders back, stretch, and get adjusted before we get back to work or back to scrolling on our phone. Now, this next habit might take some practice because we hear that mean girl voice in our head. You're not doing enough. You're still not the right weight, or things aren't falling into place. You see those wrinkles. I want you to look in the mirror and smile at yourself. Say, I'm proud of what you're doing. Be proud of yourself. Cheer yourself on because you're worth it. We've got to start silencing that mean girl voice in our head that is just so overly critical. You're doing a good job. So the next time you see your reflection in the mirror, I want you to smile at her and say, I'm proud of you. Number 13 is going to prepare you to get a better night's sleep. And that is a few hours before bed. Start to dim the lights wherever you are. Maybe lower the brightness of the screens you're watching. This is going to help you set your circadian rhythm so that your body's gradually preparing to wind down and go to sleep. And then that brings me to habit 14. Get outside and see morning light. I like to take an early morning walk. Maybe it's you just go outside while you're drinking your coffee. You want to get that morning sun on your eyes. That is reinforcing that circadian rhythm of when you're supposed to wake up and then the lower light in the evening when it's time for bed. Those two habits can really dial in your sleep a whole lot better without a lot of effort. Habit number 15 might take some getting used to, but I promise you it's worth it. And that is when you start to feel that snack attack where you feel like you need to go to the pantry to grab a snack. I want you to do this instead. Heat yourself up a cup of bone broth. Bone broth might take a little getting used to, but I promise you it's going to start to feel like a treat. It's super good for your gut health and your immune system, which is especially important in these winter months where we're not getting enough vitamin D from the sun and sugar season happens, which coincides with cold and flu season. So bone broth also gives you a dose of protein that's going to help you fill up before that next meal. So instead of snacks, drink a cup of bone broth and start to feel like that's a nourishing routine that feels good. Habit number 16 is a follow-up to starting your day drinking water. I want you to drink a lot of water throughout your day, but I want you to stop drinking water 2 hours before bedtime. This is going to help you prevent those late night trips to the bathroom that are disruptive to your sleep. So start your day with water and then end it a couple hours before bedtime. Now, as you're winding down for the evening, a good habit to set you up for the next day is to plan your top 3 tasks for the next day. I know we get so much fulfillment out of checking off a big to-do list, but I want you to dial it down to what are your 3 most important things to get done tomorrow. If you got those 3 things done, the day would be a success. You're going to find that you get the important things done and feel less stressed than trying to have to check off everything on your to-do list. We probably all grew up with some type of curfew of time to get home. Maybe as kids it was when the street lights went on. But number 18 is a different type of curfew. I want you to set a caffeine curfew. That means stopping caffeine sometime before lunch. Caffeine has a very long half-life and stays in your system longer than you think and maybe hinders you from going to sleep or from staying asleep. So set an alarm on your phone, something to remind you this is caffeine curfew time, no more for the rest of the afternoon. And if you're used to having it as an afternoon pick-me-up, try that bone broth instead. I've shared this a lot because it's such a game changer for sleep and muscle recovery, but it's the one supplement that I never skip, and that is take magnesium to sleep better. I take magnesium glycinate an hour or 2 before bed, and it has really made a difference in my sleep. You can check the caption for my supplement guide if you want to know exactly what kind I take. If you're really trying to fix your sleep, this is probably the number 1 habit I recommend to start with. Habit number 20 also deals with your sleep. Set a bedtime, a non-negotiable bedtime. If you need to set an alarm on your phone to remind you to get ready for that, but whatever you can do, set a consistent bedtime. Go to bed the same time every night and your body will start getting used to that sleep schedule. And then the final one, habit number 21, might be my favorite, but it's the one that I don't understand why I have to keep reminding midlife women to do. And that is add fun to your day. What makes you laugh? What makes you smile? Add more of that to your day. Life doesn't have to be a continuous to-do list of trying to whip your body into shape, do all the right things. You deserve to have fun, to have something that brings you joy. Whether it's watching some fun YouTube videos, or getting outside for a walk with a friend, or painting, or coloring, or listening to music, whatever it is, I encourage you to have a What Sounds Fun list and start incorporating that more into your daily life. By adding these simple 1-minute habits, you're setting yourself up for a healthier, more fulfilling life in 2025. If you struggle to make habits stick, you'll want to check out this video when it's available on how to overcome that all or nothing mindset and get more consistent.